Palatrax is fundamentally different on a lot of things that we do. The standard tactic for carp fishing nowadays is very, very similar to this. We actually move away from this. We're always trying to question everything. And because we've got a background in a lot of other areas of fishing, like match fishing, sea fishing, lure fishing, we're very aware that carp or whatever other fish, they will actually sense more than they see. So the more obtrusive it is, the more ability they have to actually sense something. So here you've got lead core, great big lead. We don't fish with that because we know the fish can sense it and has the ability to actually be negative. It seems very strange, but actually if you go back in history, stones, natural stones, have always been used all the way back through the centuries. Now we've actually used the natural stone to say, if you look at what I just said a minute ago about the lead and the lead core, that's just a stone. The fish have no ability to sense that. Just park seeing for a minute. Just think and have the understanding that the fish have the ability to really, really sense something hypersensitive. So in effect, I can remove that stone because to a fish, a stone is just a natural item within their environment. So in effect, I'm just fishing on a rig, whereas everybody else is fishing on all this other man-made stuff, which fundamentally doesn't fit in with our kind of style of fishing. The stone system in its basic principles is very, very easy to use and so effective. I mean, this is not some sales ploy or anything like this. This is genuinely how we fish. We fish all over the world with it. It catches, and it's fundamentally very easy to use. Now, one of the key things is using our baits to actually, we call it flaring, so to attract fish into the swim. So what the first thing is to get the method mix, and this one's a bloodworm and maggot crush. And all we're going to do is add a little bit of water just to make it, well, just to make it bind. Now, one of the things about Palatrax is we really do embrace the natural elements that fish feed on. Water flies, snails, mollusks. There is thousands and thousands of different things that fish will feed on aside from bait. And the trouble is nowadays we've got such a fixation on boilies and pellets. Why are we forgetting that fish do eat, and fundamentally Daphnia, all the kind of things that we've got here? So what I'm going to add to my method mix to bulk it out with attraction is things like natural bloodworm, water flies. In England you've got over 4,000 species of different water flies, so an amazing natural food source. Daphnia, water flea. For every lake, every watercourse is full of Daphnia. And just because we can't see it, you know, carp are swimming through a soup of naturals. Bit of gamma shrimp, which is like a freshwater shrimp. So all I'm going to do is mix that in. And that has two things within this method mix. What it does, it gives you that natural attractant, but it also, because of the air content within the skeleton of the natural fodder as such that we're feeding in, it will actually break up your method mix as well and send out a whole stream of attractant. So we're just going to make that up. And the beauty, and one of the reasons, well, the main reason to be fair, that I developed the stone system was because I use the method in so much of my fishing tactics. It's such a great, accurate way of putting a good food source right next to your hook bait. So all we're going to do is fluff that up, get it going, and then when we see this in the tank, you'll see and appreciate. So all I've got here is a braid with a little squad pop-up on, so nothing fancy, in all honesty, but it's very much different than many of the standard tactics that are promoted. So like any method feeder, the stone will just bind round. All I'm going to do is loop my hook bait back in, cover it. Now people think stones don't cast. They do. You know, it's a common misconception that this doesn't, you know, because it's so out of sync, everybody's using leads and things like that. We're not using leads because we know that fish have the ability to sense. You can cast this as far as you can cast any other method feeder, obviously. Now the beauty of this is it's pure fish food, and on top of that you've got the bonus of the naturals. So all we would do is that would cast in place and would literally fall accurate. So what we'll do is we'll just throw it into the tank here, and you'll start to see straight away that this will react with the water. And I don't know if the camera can zoom in on that, but you'll see that everything starts to pull apart. And what it's sending out a physical trail. It's not just a flavour trail, it's a physical trail of all of these bugs which the fish are naturally eating from day one in their diet. And this will actually explode the method mix. And over time, that will just break down. and actually send out through the undertow a core of attractant which drags the fish in. Now also the beauty of this is it won't tangle, you'll always get the same presentation, you can chuck it into weed, you can fish literally wherever. To be fair, it's pan species, scale down if you want to catch bream and tench and things like that. But in effect this will just break down, sending out a perfect trail, keeping everything tight. And to be fair, the amount of fish we catch on it is undisputed. So it's a working tactic, very much different, as I say, from other things that are promoted within the industry. We let other companies do what they do. Palatrax very stands alone in many ways because we really do embrace the natural elements. I mean, it's not just, we don't just stop there. We'll take something like a brown snail, for example. Now that is literally one of our hydra range. We can flavour, we can dye it. As soon as you put it in water, they'll literally expand. They'll suck all the water, suck all the flavour, suck all the dye in. You can fish them just naturally if you want to be fair. And we've caught some huge fish on these. Whilst everybody around us is fishing with standard boilies and pellets, we're actually using something different. And I hope the camera can zoom in on that and you can actually see how the dye has actually sucked in, and that gives you an idea of how much the flavour goes in. And what you end up with a piece of base or mass, 60% of its natural protein is still within there, so it's a real nutritional natural food source. So we're using and embracing things encompassing with the method mix. It's not just about a flavour or a colour, we're actually really concentrating on what the fish are eating and what they actually contain. The digestive tract of a carp will take and draw out the goodness of something. If there's no nutritional value to it, why would it carry on eating? This, it's no sales ploy, it's no gimmick, this is literally got a balanced nutritional element. And I say, if you can go back down, if the camera can go back down and starting to see now, within a very short time, whatever your hook bait is, it's going to be sitting in this pile of fantastic food source, and it's just reacting all the time. But that's not to say we don't embrace flavours, we don't embrace colours. And just to finish off, I'll show you one other thing that we do where we incorporate, to be fair, a lot of us fish with the squabs. You know, boilies are round predominantly because of the machines that we make them on are round. So we're looking for edges that anti-eject, all those kind of things. So we've got a food source bait that we make using no modern preservatives, natural sugars to do the job, a drying process which is to do with dehumidification. So we're not trying to replicate what other people are doing. They do what they do. Palatrax does what we do, basically. Now, by doing that, you take something like a glug, and this is a proper glug. One of the things when I design something, I want it to do particular jobs for me. A lot of the liquids out there, as soon as you cast them in, they're gone. This won't be. As you can see, it's almost like a toffee apple effect. You'll put it into these glugs. They're really thick, really syrupy. And then again, you can add this, and then you can say, like, okay, let's just take squat maggot. So what we'll do is we'll draw it out, and as you can see, it's thick, it's staying with it, it's not just disappearing. You can put it in with live maggots, you can put it in with all kinds of different things, and then what you'll get is you'll get this conquer effect of naturals. And again, placing it, casting it in, and I don't know again if the camera can zoom in. So you've got a flavoured glug which is basically sending out this flavour signal. Then you've got the natural squat maggot which is giving you that protein. So you've got a load of different benefits by harnessing modern technology with old school natural baits. And to be quite honest, the proof is in the pudding, and all we do, and I'd like to think all you will do, is go add this to your armoury. We're not saying chuck anything else away, but embrace there is other tactics available, certainly through what Palatrax are doing. And hopefully as anglers you can see that by embracing what we do, it makes sense, it is common sense, and it genuinely will catch you more fish.